Alright, well, you've seen the drop with the springs, you've seen the exhaust, you've heard a little bit how it sounds. I figured I'd give you a little bit of my thoughts on the two items that were recently installed. I mean, the springs, I think they kind of speak for themselves as far as visually. They really dropped the car a nice amount. I'm expecting it to probably still compress a little bit more over the next couple thousand miles. So maybe it gets a little bit lower, but I'm happy with the drop as it is. A really nice look to the car. Really should have come from the factory this way. It really was quite high, especially in the front. You know, talk about kind of a reverse rake with these 997 TTs. So kind of the back is down, but then the front is up. Wasn't a great look. So now it's much flatter. Looks way more put together. So very happy with that. As far as the ride with the springs, you know, it's tough to judge because they also changed the alignment. So we went with a GT3 alignment rather than the turbo alignment because the turbo alignment is super aggressive, it cambers out. So basically the inner part of the tire, like the very, very innermost part of the tire, just wears and wears and wears, which is great for the track because you're always kind of, you're going from the tire is very flat when you're going hard through a corner, but when you're street driving you're not really going hard through many corners, so it's kind of a pain because you're burning through tires. So we went through a slightly less aggressive setup, which is the GT3 setup as far as I'm aware, and it feels good. I don't really notice that I'm less stable. If anything, it's less twitchy. Before, sometimes you go over undulations in the road and it would just kind of carry on that way. It would want to go its own path. But now I'm not fighting that. So in that respect, it's a lot nicer. Obviously, I haven't been on the track recently, so you know, since the installation, so I don't know how it would change there. I mean, I imagine it would be a little bit less stable, but I mean, I'm not going to know. I probably won't track it until next summer. And then as far as the ride, very comfortable, very stock-like. If I think it's a little bit flatter, maybe due to the lower center of gravity, but for the most part, very, very similar. I haven't tried the sport mode PASM. Oh, here we go, got a straight bit. So this is full. So you see the interior cabin noise, and that was almost full throttle. Interior cabin noise is really clean. There's no drone. You just get clean exhaust note and turbo spooling, which probably you've heard in the video already. So yeah, back to springs. Stock, very stock feel to the springs. Haven't had any drawbacks. It's not sloppy. I was worried it would be a bit sloppy, but it's really tight. I might try PASM now. I'm saying as I've never done it. Let's see. This is a nice piece of flat road, so I mean, PASM is super flat. So yeah, pretty happy with that. So yeah, I would definitely recommend the springs if you're just looking for a drop and don't want to buy coilovers. And then to the exhaust, I mean, you've heard a lot of the sounds now, interior, exterior. It transforms the car, really. I mean, this is kind of letting loose that race car kind of pedigree that this engine had from the GT1 cars. So I think it's spectacular. I mean, before the car was very, very quiet, a little bit on cold start, you'd hear the engine, but after that, very sedate, and you basically just get this suck of air when you put the hammer down, but really very little engine noise. It was just kind of silence with this gulp, huge gulp of volumes of air that you would hear. It's kind of like more like a vacuum cleaner, right? That's what people say, and it's pretty true. If you had like a massive vacuum cleaner, I imagine that's what it would be, pushing out 480 horsepower. I imagine that's probably what it would sound like. But yeah, there's a lot of benefits to the exhaust. Obviously the turbo noise is amazing. You get obviously a much louder growl on startup, nice low note through the low and mid-range, and then higher range, it kind of screams. It just absolutely screams like a race car. It's awesome. You get good weight savings. The stock system, we took it off and it is just a behemoth. It's so heavy, so heavy. got this massive couple of mufflers that are connected, and obviously 2 huge catalytic converters. So this straight pipe, no cats, just the X pipe, much lighter, maybe save 40-50 pounds off the back, which is nice if you're into weight savings. And also the extra power, right? I definitely noticed the quicker throttle response, and the power is just there. The revs just really flow. It was almost like before the car was kind of suffocating. The little turbos were just pushing through all this air, pushing through the cats, but now they're not fighting that, so they just spool up so quickly, and the power is freaking right there. It's really cool. So he definitely knows the power, so maybe up to maybe 500 crank horsepower, 505, something like that, who knows. But I think the power gains really come when you start to get a tune, but I'm not really interested in a tune right now. The car is just way too crazy already to get a tune, so I'm just going to enjoy it like it is. But big thanks to John at Speedtech, who is super great with the customer support, and made it really easy. I think he's got a great product. I highly recommend the Speedtech system if you're looking to kind of open up your turbo and make it a little bit more like match the performance that it can do. The sound, the character of the car doesn't really match the performance. I mean, this is a car that does the same Nordschleife time as a 458 Ferrari, but it sounds like a businessman's cruiser. And that's fine if you're a businessman and you like a quiet cruiser, but it wasn't fine for me, where this is, this was kind of my dream car for a long time, and still is, really. It's phenomenal vehicle, it's phenomenal machine, but it didn't sound like that. The character did not match the performance, and now I feel like it does. So thank you, John at Speedtech, for making such a unique product. I think it's fantastic, and wish you all the success. If there's, as I said, I highly recommend the product. If anybody has any questions, just feel free to message me or whatever. And then also massive thanks to Quentin and his team at Never Sleep Imports. They did the installation, they work on all my cars, and they are just fantastic. There is nothing they can't do. Very professional, and I also highly recommend them if you're in the Philadelphia area and have an exotic car. They are excellent. So yeah, apart from that, I'm going to get back to enjoying this beast, because quite honestly, I would rather be driving it than talking. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Cheers, guys.